It's your guys, the Two Live Stews, and today's show is brought to you by Black Eden 1912 Bourbon, a premium bourbon inspired by the historic legacy of Idlewild, Michigan, known as Black Eden.
So whether you're celebrating a victory or raising a glass with friends, experience Black Eden 1912, a taste of history.
We always hooking y'all up. As a listener of the Two Live Stews, enjoy $20 off of your online purchase by visiting blackeden1912.com/2livestews and using the promo code 2livestews when you get to checkout.
That's blackeden1912.com/2livestews and promo code 2livestews to claim your exclusive offer and experience a taste of history.
Rough open, real rough open, but I couldn't find the button. Good afternoon, everybody. What's up? It's your guys, the One Live Stew here, and my man with the plan, Joe Ham, is hanging out as well. Y'all, please, I apologize. I sincerely apologize for not having a show open for y'all, but I'm just going to be honest with y'all. It is what it is. I couldn't find the button, but happy Friday evening to all of y'all, and like we always start, I'll start today. We've got to thank God for every minute of every day. Joe Ham, good afternoon, sir. Good evening, I mean. How you feeling today, sir?
Outstanding. Stoked. Geeked up in the right way. I mean, you know what? Yesterday, what happened last night, man? The itch was scratched. I don't care what it was. I don't care if it was third string, fourth string, JV. Right. We saw football, brother.
Listen, I want to start right there. And it is your guy, One Live Stew, Ryan Stewart, Joe Hamilton, Two Live Stews pop-up going down. Doug's not going to be joining us today, but Joe and I are going to, in essence, talk about what he just mentioned, football being back. And I don't want to wax poetic. Mm-hmm. I don't want to get in my feelings and make it something that it wasn't. It was the first preseason game, the Hall of Fame game. We saw very few starters take the field, if any at all. And we saw a former Georgia quarterback, a former Miami quarterback. We saw a former Yellow Jacket quarterback. And I watched that game as if it wasn't a preseason game. I watched that game last night, and I've never watched the Hall of Fame game from start to finish. I watched that game last night as if I really had a dog in the fight. Mm-hmm. And I didn't. It wasn't the Lions. It wasn't my Raiders. It wasn't the home team Falcons. Yes, we're attached to Haynes King because of his past and what he did for Georgia Tech. You and I have done a couple of shows where we've talked about the significance of Haynes King and what he means to our alma mater, Georgia Tech. I say that alma mater with much pride, as both of you and I are alums and work to have our degrees. Was it just me or am I mistaken? That was a damn good game last night.
Well, Stu, let me tell you this, brother. Let's call it like it is, man. We're junkies, man. Hey, we are football junkies.
Fiends.
Yes, and we are football junkies, but we are sports junkies, but we are football fiends. And it was a great game. And you said you don't normally watch the Hall of Fame game, but I don't normally watch the game.
I watched the Hall of Fame game.
Entirety of it.
I've never seen a complete Hall of Fame game until last night.
Because it's normally for me is the interviews with the future Hall of Famers that's going to give their speeches on tomorrow. They're going to get their gold jacket tonight in their ceremony. When Roger Craig, Luke Kuechly, Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, and I'm missing one, but Adam Vinatieri.
Adam Vinatieri, the kicker. It's just a kicker. No big deal. It's just a kicker.
So everything involved. We had Mike Tomlin on the set of NBC. He did a fabulous job, and he looks at place. He looks at ease. Why? Because he knows ball and he loves ball. But Stu, that game when you are like me, and I love the science of football. I love the why. I love the movements. I love the play calling. It doesn't matter who's in there. It was football. And to have that come down to the wire as a former quarterback, and I like to say I am a quarterback, not former. I'm a quarterback now as we sit, okay?
Right.
To see where these rookies, they're rookies. Carson Beck and Haynes King, they are rookies. That was their first NFL game. And what I can, draw the bottom line from those guys is this. They were in their playbook. They went to work. Football is their job, and they treated it as so. I don't know how long ago they knew they were going to start. Play this much. Carson Beck started. Obviously, he's the second string to Jacoby Brissett. I don't know if Haynes King, being the third string now behind Bryce Young.
Bryce Young, Kenny Pickett. Then
I don't know how long he thought he was going to play, but that was a well-played game. I don't remember there being a turnover at all. Yeah, one fumble.
There was one fumble.
One fumble and not many penalties. So, yeah, you're correct. It was a very good game that came to the wire, and I am so proud. I'm happy at quarterback-wise for Carson Beck. Although he went to Georgia, we're not going to get into that because there's no hate there. But how he prepared.
Hold on. No, there's hate. There's plenty of good old-fashioned hate. Don't go lying to the people. Don't go lying to the people. But we're not going to hate on Carson Beck. But when it comes to the way he used to play, there's tons of hate for you and I with them folk.
Doubt. Okay. Thank you for that. Right. Thank you. I would say former Miami quarterback. I wouldn't even bring in the red.
Okay.
I wouldn't even bring in the red. Stu, they were prepared. They were prepared, Stu, and it was a good deal to see even Bryce Young, all right, the way he acted on the sideline. And that's the difference, Stu. I'm going to bring this up real quickly to you because you don't notice this, and I know I would notice it. I don't know if you noticed it, but I know I noticed it. Jacoby Brissett. Was Carson Beck playing very well last night?
He played really well last night.
Yes. Did the camera pan to Jacoby Brissett every now and then?
Yes, it did.
Yeah. Was he clapping and in a great mood? Did he seem excited? Now I'm just talking from the looks of it, and I'm not digging deep, and I'm not trying to put something on him. I look at these type things. There's pressure on him because from my brother-in-law Rod Wilson, who's a linebackers coach.
Shout out to you, Rod.
Yeah, from the Arizona Cardinals this year, his first year. He told me when he came here that he thought Carson Beck was playing well in camp, that when Jacoby Brissett was holding out or holding in for a new contract, that he was like, man, screw it, man. Let's start Carson Beck, start anew, and let's go. He was playing that well. So I'm thinking Jacoby Brissett felt some type of way about how Carson Beck was playing and not hating. I'm not saying he was hating, but was he completely rooting for the guy? And I look on the other sideline, the flip side, to where Bryce Young knows he's the starter. Yes, they picked up his 5th-year option, but they didn't sign him to a long-term contract, but he is the starter. And, boy, he was a cheerleader. Every single throw that Haynes King made, you saw him smiling. You saw him dapping people up coming off the football field. So I look at that as the quarterbacks rooting for each other, being in the same room. Bryce Young looked at it as our quarterback room is looking good. We're looking prepared. To have success, we all have success. And from Jacoby Brissett, not to say he was rooting against, but I don't know if he was fully into Carson Beck having that type of performance that he had last night, brother.
One last Stu, Ryan Stewart, the Hall of Famer himself, Joe Hamilton. This is a Two Live Stews pop-up. And I am... you've just delayed where we're going to start because you said 3 or 4 things I got to make a comment about. I want to start by making this first comment. Not only are you a former quarterback that played at a beyond high level in college and played in the professional level behind one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it, but you are my go-to guy when it comes to sports. Not just football, when it comes to sports. Joe, when I have a take that I think is hot and I want to make sure that it's factual, you're one of the first people I call. When I've got a question about blocking schemes offensively for the offensive line, you're my go-to guy. When I've got a question about defensive fronts or stunts, and I'm a guy that played 5 years in the league and played defense, when I've got a question about defensive fronts or the movement of the front or linebacker filling gaps, you're my go-to guy. So I don't just have fun on this platform talking sports with you because we go way back and we're best buds, but you're a go-to guy. You are an analyst. You know sports, not just football. You know sports. So that's the first thing I wanted to say, because you kind of downplayed your significance slightly before your diatribe just now while talking about it. Jacoby Brissett and what I saw the same things you saw. But what I'll add while seeing the same things you saw from last night is there was a level of comfort for Jacoby Brissett because he's gone from making a little less than $5 million for this upcoming season to a guaranteed compensation package of $15.5 million and a maximum value to his deal of $21 million. However, let me say
pennies on a dollar. Pennies on a dollar.
However, let me say this. Had he still have been a hold-in last night prior to that game and Carson Beck doing what he did, which was 15 for 19, 188 yards, 1 touchdown, and a guy that looked like he knew what he was doing game 1, and it was just a preseason game. But had Brissett not have signed that possibly $21 million deal, he would have had a world of concern. Yeah. As a matter of fact, had the Cardinals not paid him that money, which again will probably ultimately end up being right around $21 million, I dare say that he may not have been given the deal that he received a day or so prior to that game last night because Beck played that good. Do you disagree with me?
Yes. And here's why I disagree with you, because I said it. It's pennies on a dollar. And because he didn't sign a long-term, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was just a 1-year deal. It's just a 1-year deal, right? It
is just a 1-year deal. So 1-year contract that was reworked for 2026, and it's an extension in essence. It's a 1-year deal that he was given in, because again, he was slated to make $4.8 million, and smartly, he and his people said, we're going to sit this thing out. They're not going to go into a season with Gardner Minshew and Carson Beck as their only 2 quarterbacks. They're going to want a vet. So yes, it's just $21 million, but that's a significant pay increase for a guy that has been a journeyman and has played on 6 or 7 different teams.
Yeah, and that's why, Stu, I disagree with you. And because I'm not talking about the money, I'm talking about the year, 1 year. And I'm also talking about he's been a journeyman. So that to me says he has a short leash. He has a short leash. The way Carson Beck played last night means that, and if he continues to play that way this entire preseason, means that the first quarter of the season, first 4 games, or even the second quarter of the season, the first 8 games, and Jacoby Brissett is not playing well, if Jacoby Brissett is giving away the church's money as far as turnovers, they will quickly go and see, let's see what Carson Beck is all about, because Carson Beck is their future, what they're seeing right now. Well, we don't have to tie anything long-term to Jacoby Brissett at all. So now that pressure is going to mount. Yeah, I do believe that Jacoby Brissett is comfortable that he will have the first hut on opening on the first game of the season. But that pressure is got that I can't make a mistake. Right. I'm going to have to play very well because this young cat is up and coming, and I'm not the future. Because if you were the future, it would be more than 1 year. If they were dependent on you, they would sign you 2 years, maybe $50 million or so.
And we've talked too much about Carson Beck. I didn't want to do that today.
No, absolutely,
But Brissett's net worth right now is estimated to be roughly $20 to $25 million. His career NFL earnings with an 11-year career is right around $60 million. So in essence, this $21 million that he's going to make more than likely this upcoming season is just about going to double his net worth, and we're not getting into taxes and all of that.
I got you. Yeah.
So in my eyes, I saw a guy that isn't getting paid the value of a starting quarterback in the National Football League. Those guys tend to make, I think Daniel Jones is making $40 million, somewhere around there. I think Baker's making $30-something million. Baker, too, was trying to get another deal prior to training camp getting started. That didn't get done. Now he doesn't want to talk about it anymore. He's betting on himself. I saw Brissett the same way you did, but I did see him saying, I played 11 years. I just hit him across the head for possibly $21 million. I can be happy for Carson Beck in the way he's playing. Before we move on, am I wrong with that, Joe?
No, you're not wrong. Especially if you're just talking about the money. I'm just talking about longevity. And that leash. Right. And that leash is short because we're going to always see, it's human nature for us to see that I'm on a 1-year deal. My backup, who they drafted in the 3rd round, the 3rd quarterback taken in this draft, is balling, right? So now everybody wants pressure.
You look really good.
Was balling, although it's the preseason. Really and I do understand that Jacoby Brissett is a journeyman and he's a competitor, and he's on a 1-year deal, a prove-it deal, so he will play his best ball. Right. But it's just the fact that that's an added pressure that, hey, man, I can't make many mistakes. I don't have a 10 interception, 12 interception year in me, or I'll get benched before all that happens. Is all I'm saying.
2 live stews pop up. 1 live stew, Ryan Stewart here, joined by the Heisman runner-up, Joe Hamilton, Mr. South Carolina, Mr. Georgia. He's in both of the Hall of Fames of those incredible states. So we're happy to be here talking a little bit of sports. Prior to the game, I was on the phone with a buddy that's in New York. And he said, hey, man, you got a Georgia quarterback taking on a Georgia Tech quarterback tonight in this Hall of Fame game. How you think these young quarterbacks are going to play? And you know me, jaw jacking, yap. Well, he's not really a Georgia quarterback. He finished his career in Miami. They played for a national championship and they lost. So I don't look at him as a Georgia quarterback. I look at him as a Miami quarterback. But yada, yada, yada. I told him before the first kick of the ball, I told him, if Haynes King gets in this game for any significant amount of time, not knowing how long he would play, I thought Kenny Pickett would get the bulk of the minutes. He's going to play well. From what I know about Haynes King after watching him for years down on the flats at Georgia Tech, he's a gamer that will be prepared. He's a guy that runs a 4.4 plus. He's a guy that has a pocket presence and can throw. I've seen him win games with his arm, with his legs, and more importantly, with his mind. But Joe, I said that prior to the game, and as the game started, my mind was blown by the effectiveness and efficiency of Haynes King. 21 for 34, 180 yards passing on the ground, another 2 touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown that was missed. And It was missed to the point that it blew my mind because in my eyes, it was a relatively easy throw, but he should have had 3 touchdowns. And oh yeah, he had 39 yards on the ground with 3 carries and 1 touchdown, which the final touchdown of the game came with his legs and a victory for the Carolina Panthers. What did you think prior to the game you would have saw out of Haynes King in his first NFL performance? Oh yeah, a guy that you and I talked about getting drafted around somewhere between 4 and in the 5th round. I think you may have said a little bit later. He ultimately didn't get drafted at all. He was a free agent, which was mind-blowing to me. Mm-hmm. What did you think about the 21 for 34, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 39 yards on the ground with 1 rushing touchdown from Haynes King?
Spectacular.
Oh, my gosh.
Spectacular. And I was looking for some things specifically, Ryan Stewart. How are you in the pocket? Are you antsy? Are you scanning the field? Are you staring down one side of the football field, your one read, your second read, and then you're dancing out of the pocket? Are you utilizing your legs a little too much? Are you giving those wide receivers the time enough to get downfield, work their individual routes, get off of man coverage, and routes down the field develop? Are you sitting in that pocket, trusting your offensive line? Do you know the plays? Do you to get from one side of the field to the other side of the field is not just about pocket awareness. It's about knowing where the guys are going to be and where they should be, because you don't come to your third read until you hitch one time or maybe twice, because that's the timing of the route coming on the backside, right, or something of that. He was on time, Stu, and the footwork in the pocket, the movement. We always talk about quarterbacks when your eyes have to go along with your feet. You don't want your eyes to be looking somewhere one way and then your feet is in another direction. That's going to be an inaccurate pass. You're not going to be everything in line. It's almost like a golf swing. Everything's got to be aligned to your target. I saw that. I also saw at the line of scrimmage, hey, opposite.
He was making checks.
Over.
He was making checks, making calls.
That's comfortability of the offense. That's knowing that what should happen. And the poise. I saw a throw from one hash to the other side of the hash, NFL hash, not college hash, where you can, with that arm strength can be a little construed because it's a little wider field. No, right. It was on 3rd and 14, right, where you had to let routes develop downfield. You have to hang in that pocket. Haynes King, to me, developed, and I also saw development. I saw the footwork as far as basing his feet. I saw the footwork as far as even the little giddy up or little slight. You have to really pay attention to it, that he had a slight little hitch up in his throwing motion at Georgia Tech and at Texas A&M. He's trying to correct that, and he's getting that corrected. I just saw – I want to say this to you, Stu. When I heard that we were going to do this pop-up, I got my thoughts ready, and I said, why – did he play this well? Why did he look so comfortable? My goodness. I mean, he's a rookie in his first NFL game, Hall of Fame game.
He didn't play like a rookie, Joe. He just did not.
No, and I have to say, Stu, it's because of how many football games he's played.
He's played a lot of football.
That has something to do with it. At Texas A&M and at Georgia Tech for 3 years starting, this guy's played. He's logged a lot of minutes. And that football, he was able to compartmentalize that this is just a game. Yeah, this is the only game on, and you know everybody was watching because everybody's ready for football to come back. Stu, hear me out, Stu.
Please.
This guy was in the perfect situation that his coaches wanted to evaluate him in. It's just not the first quarter. It's just not the third quarter. He was able to get in situational football.
Right, the 2-minute drive at the end of the game that he led his team down the field who needed a touchdown. They were not going to kick a field goal to put that game in overtime. They were going to win that game or lose that game on that 2-minute drive, and he won that damn game.
Great point, Stu, because I remember when I was in Indianapolis and we were in the same situation in preseason to where Coach Dungy and the staff, Clyde Christensen, quarterback coach, said, Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator, said, and it was you could go and tie the game in a 2-minute drill, or a touchdown. You know, going in there jogging on the field, you're going to go for the touchdown because nobody wants extended preseason games.
Not in preseason.
Nobody wants that. And I was talking, it's twice, Stu. If you remember correctly now, he led a 10-play, 58-yard drive in the second half at the end of the second quarter with 1 minute and 38 seconds left, and they were able to get a field goal to tie it at 17-17 before the half. Mm-hmm. So he was able to orchestrate two 2-minute drills, and that's what the coaches want to see. That's what in situational football, you plan those in practice, but sometimes they don't come up in the game. To be able to execute like that, Stu, I mean, because that play is calling in a huddle, and when you're doing a 2-minute drill, you don't always get it from the coach. So you're going to have in your mind your best 5 plays, your plays that you're going to go to, and he was spitting it out.
He was walking around like a boss. He was in the shotgun, and he left the pocket and went to the left side where the tackle was and told the tight end something, told the receiver something. He walked all the way back across to the other tackle, told the right guy something on this side. Then he came back, settled down, and said, hut. Yes. And he was poised. He was cool, calm, and collected. I was blown away by how he handled that 2-minute drill at the end of that ball game.
Blown away. And I must also say, and yes, if it sounds like I'm tooting his horn, yes, I am.
Toot.
And I'm also being in the scheme of what I saw in this rookie quarterback. Yes, he's from Georgia Tech. Yes, I'm proud of him. I'm extremely proud. That was 3rd and goal. The touchdown. The other scamper early in that drive for 26 yards, that was 3rd and 14, my brother.
Right.
That throw I talked about earlier when he was throwing from the opposite hash to the far hash, that was 3rd and 15, my brother.
3rd and 15.
So we're talking about plays within the scheme of the game where quarterbacks make their hay. That's where the quarterback makes their hay on 3rd down and in that pocket. Very well done, bro.
2 live stews pop up with Ryan Stewart, 1 live stew with my man Joe Hamilton. I'm trying to move forward, but you keep stopping me because you're saying things. The first thing I want to say and the first thing I want to remind you of is you mentioned Tony Dungy a second ago, your former coach with Tampa Bay and your former coach with the Colts, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I love when you tell stories because you were on a team with Peyton Manning. You were on a team with Warren Sapp. Tony Dungy's been your coach. Simeon Rice was your teedmate. Derek Brooks was your teammate.
Come on, man. Marvin Harrison,
Edwin James,
Dwight Freeney.
So remember to please keep taking us in the locker room or on the sideline every chance you get. I don't often get to do a show or spend time with someone who can spit out those types of names. Yeah. Hall of Fame names. We just named 5 or 6 different Hall of Famers that you shared a locker room with and a football field with, okay? That's the first thing. Tell the stories. You mentioned Haynes King and how he's played a lot of football. Joe, that matters.
That matters, too.
So that matters. We saw Carson Beck have some luck last night. Carson Beck's played a lot of football.
A lot of football, brother.
We saw Bo Nix in the last year or two. Is he? Yeah, he's going into year 3 now, right?
Yes, he is.
Year 3 for him. Bo Nix played 6 years of college football and stepped into the league with Sean Payton and looked comfortable because he's played a lot of football. So when you've been a starter and you've played 14, 15 games a year for 2 or 3 years, or you've played 6 seasons at different places, that matters. So yes, when I was talking to my buddy in New York, I mentioned that to him. I expected Haynes King to be comfortable because he's played a lot of football and he's on a different stage now. It's a magnified stage now. He's playing under the NFL lights. But ball is ball, and if you've had an excessive amount of snaps, it's probably going to translate a whole lot better than a guy that's only done it 1 year or 2 years. Am I wrong with that assessment?
No, you said a mouthful, and the mouthful you said was ball is ball. And the ones that can make sure they can put it that simple, that, hey, man, this football is oval. hey, man, this field is 100 yards long and 53 1/3 wide. It's the same thing I've been doing since Pop Warner. Let's go play. Block, tackle, complete passes. That's it. You're not making it bigger than it is. Yes, you are in your preparation. Yes, you do know that you were in Ohio with the Hall of Fame and those type of things. But at the end of the day, when you say HUT, that coverage is going to be one of maybe 6 or 7 coverages. Yes, it's going to be some combo coverages. They're going to disguise a little bit and do those things because of the
ball
NFL.
Is ball, man. Ball is ball.
Now,
the speed's a whole lot faster. The players are probably a whole lot better. And even though the starters weren't out there, the speed of the game, the size of the players, and a lot of things were different than college football. But your ball is ball.
I didn't see a dumbed down. I didn't see a dumbed down offense. I didn't see I know it was vanilla, but I didn't see any vanilla actions. I didn't see any holdback. And another thing about the 2-minute drill, when you run in the 2-minute drill right before you jog onto that football field, Stu, the offensive coordinator, I was with Tom Moore, and I remember the same old game I'm talking about. I led 2 preseason game-winning drives with 2 different teams, one with the Bucks and one with the Indianapolis Colts in preseason. And in both instances, they on the sideline, because you don't quite know the offense and you're learning the offense and the whole playbook is not open to you like you're a veteran, they would ask you, what do you like? Right. What do you feel comfortable? Yeah, what do you feel comfortable with? And then you look, I feel comfortable with this. I feel comfortable with that, because you don't get that many reps. And you know, like I know, being in the league like you were, for the 3rd string or the 2nd string in a 12 play period, you don't get a lot of reps to run a lot of different plays. So you don't have experience in saying, I'm comfortable if I've done this in practice, I completed this ball. So your retention is not like, I've been here before. Right. You got to go out and do it. So all those things, to him be able to, in a pressure-packed situation, teammates are watching, having your alma mater on your back, representing the whole type deal, and you were able to show up in the moment and do the exact same things we saw him do last year. Right. The exact same thing. And I will say this, dude. I love body language, and I love this ultimate sport in football about your peers and your teammates. Did you see that end zone when he scored that touchdown?
Everybody.
This is a preseason game, I remind you. It doesn't count.
It doesn't matter at all. The game is irrelevant. The game is irrelevant.
Did you see those guys from the sideline, from the veterans to the people who were on the field when that touchdown?
Coaches too.
That end zone was full. So that also tells me that during the week, in the first week of practice, first 2 weeks of practice, he has galvanized the troops. Definitely who he goes in with, because you know he has a rapport with the 3rd string guys who he gets reps with and stay after practice with. Hey, you want to catch a few balls with me? Hey, run this route. Let's get familiar. The guys he hangs out with. But for the whole team to be like, hey, that's my guy. Right. We trust in him. And oh, by the way, I feel it in my bones. Kenny Pickett can't get too comfortable. Now I understand he's a veteran. No, I'm not putting the skis over there. I'm not putting the skis out there. But
him being a veteran is part of the problem, because he's got a veteran minimum that's much more than Haynes King. He's probably making a little bit of coin. He's probably making 7 figures. Haynes King ain't making 7 figures, so that's a part of a problem for Kenny Pickett.
They will go into the season. I'm not going to go crazy. They will go into the season with Kenny Pickett being number 2 behind Bryce Young, just in case something happens. That's a playoff team, and they want a veteran to be able to come in second and not depend on a rookie to be 2nd string. But if Haynes King, which I think he's going to continue to develop, Ryan Stewart, he's
going to get better.
He wasn't asked to sit in that pocket last year like he's going to be asked to do it in a professional, but we saw that. Who's to say he can't? So that's why I'm glad he dispelled a lot of rumors about him not getting drafted, him going as a free agent, his pocket presence, his ability to throw from the pocket. He wasn't asked to do it. Last night he was, and he's showing you that I am getting better. I am getting better, man. And another thing, I'm so happy about how many times did Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth mention Georgia Tech?
Yes. Yeah.
So when you look at the big picture, when you look at our alma mater and what we're striving for to reach Charlotte, to get to the ACC championship game, to be one of the 12 best teams to make this playoffs, that helps. That helps because where's this quarterback from? Oh, he's from Georgia Tech. They constantly called his name from Georgia Tech, played at Georgia Tech last year. And so every high school student athlete, they watch that game. They're going to say, hey, I can make it too. I can go there at Georgia Tech and I can have my name mentioned on the next level. Huge, man. Huge statement.
Hanging out right now, Two Live Stews pop up. I'm your boy, One Live Stew, Ryan Stewart, joined by Joe Hamilton. And we're talking about last night's NFL Hall of Fame game that took place in Canton, Ohio. It's always good, as you mentioned a second ago, to hear the guys that's going into the hall speak about their careers. I'm a huge Luke Kuechly fan. I was blown away to see how his body has changed over the last 5 years. You know, he was a guy that was 230, 240 pounds. He was a guy that had no neck like Tequila Spikes. But last night, he looked like a regular old Joe. He's lost that weight. I was very excited to hear Drew Brees, who knows the game extremely well and who was really one of the best quarterbacks to play the game, even though he's not the prototypical size. Okay, he doesn't have the prototypical speed that you would want your quarterback to have, but he had one or two people that believed in him in his journey, and he made the most of every single opportunity he had. So it was good to hear those guys speak. But what
no physical attributes. That's crazy. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole, but you know, no physical attributes.
No, none of them.
Boy, that's a story. That's a story.
That's a story that goes to how any player in the right situation with the right people can have success in this league.
That's right.
I believe that deep in my heart. If you put together a system for someone and their attributes allow them to be effective in said system, they can be good in this league. If you take Drew Brees out and try to make him run a wing T, he might not be the Drew Brees that we know. You feel me? Now, I think you can run a wing T. All right. I think you probably have the ability to do more athletically than Drew Brees does. But again, you've got to be with the system and some people that want to give you that opportunity to do that.
And real quick, Stu, real quick.
Please,
and all of his skill sets, and what I love about this is that all of his skill sets can be developed. Okay, this is not a Cam Newton 6'6", 245 gifted, you can, that's how you draw them up. This is not Michael Vick 4'3", This is not, those guys, Josh Allen, the big boys. No. This is something that the accuracy, the anticipation, the brain, as far as knowing where to go with the football, the footwork can be developed. That's special. So now you can tell somebody that don't believe that you can work hard and get to where Drew Brees is.
Shouts out to Till Dog in the building. Shouts out to Terrence Lloyd. We appreciate you for pulling up, Terrence. Cuzzo, Fly Tie, what up, man? Yoruba Randall, Peace King. Man, it's good to see you in here today. Bussa, my man. Enjoy that Black Eden 1912. I'll talk about that Black Eden here shortly. Till Dog, I appreciate you. Richard Bullock, I appreciate you. T-Dub in the building. Appreciate you, T-Dub. Big Walton, the manager of the Two Live Stews. Appreciate you for pulling up on us on a Friday evening, man. We appreciate you, Big Walton. I think Rip _ Indra RX. Good evening to you, man. Thank you for being here. Black Diamond, your beautiful self. Hey, Black Diamond, what up, though? Joseph Smith, good morning or good afternoon. I'm sorry. Shedrick Moore, roar. Peace, King, down there in Moco. John Mickens, Miss Sonia, thank y'all for pulling up, man. Walter Waddle, thank y'all for coming. Go Strategies. Hadn't seen you in a while, but happy to see you this evening. The lovely, beautiful Tiffany Poodles in Portland. What up? Tell Bear I said peace. Thank y'all for joining us today, man. We're not going to stay much longer. As a matter of fact, this first topic has gone much longer than I wanted, and we're not done with it yet. Joe, it is a Two Live Stews pop-up, and what made me want to do a pop-up today was when I called you to talk about this game and to talk about Haynes King and to check up on your son, Skylar, which I want to talk about before we get out of here, and to talk about your daughter. Jesus Christ, I saw a picture of her beautiful self today in some very nice Air Force One, some very nice Nikes.
Yes.
And I was reading your wife's post, and it talked about her being a sophomore this year. She's not my daughter, and I got sad. Thinking about her being a sophomore and her almost being done. So I called to talk to you about those things, and we started talking about the game, and the name Chris Collinsworth kept coming up. we had a slight difference of opinion that you have really kind of made me come to your side of things with it. But Chris Collinsworth kept talking about Haynes King and how he doesn't do this right and how he doesn't do that right and how he really can't throw the ball. He can throw the ball, but he really can't throw the ball. And he just kept saying these things about Haynes King last night. And you told me you disagreed with what he was doing and what he was saying last night. And I kind of saw some of the things he was saying as reality. And you were like, no, that just wasn't the case. And I wish he wouldn't have done that. Mm-hmm. So before we move forward, man, share your take on Chris Collinsworth and his analysis last night as the analyst calling the game with Mike Tirico. It's like he was setting Haynes King up to fail early, but as he saw Haynes King playing through adversity and playing through situations, he became a fan and kind of changed his analysis. Please give me your take on Haynes King, on Chris Collinsworth's assessment of Haynes King last night.
Yeah, and I'll start off by saying I think Chris Collinsworth does a fabulous job. I mean, as far as his homework, being prepared, adapting, he's been doing this for a long time, my brother. I don't think, in my opinion, Chris Collinsworth lived in the moment when we were talking about Haynes King. In his meeting, his pre-game meeting, sitting down and talking about Haynes King, because I'm sure he knew that Haynes King was going to play a lot. So he was asking the staff and he was asking people. He went back to his notes from the draft about why Haynes King dropped like he dropped. What did he need to work on as a quarterback if he wants to have a long career in the NFL? Footwork, yes. Arm release, the ball releasing, kind of like a funky arm release, and they'll work on that. But as he said it, which was his review and which was his notes coming from the coaches, he kept on saying he is going to need to work on that. When nothing in the football game caused him to say he needs to work on that. Right. So that's my point. So as the game was, materializing, as the game was going forward, that I saw that he did use his eyes to align with his feet. He didn't throw across his body. He did have that step foot or that lead foot be 6 inches on one side of the target to where you be more accurate. He did show arm strength and accuracy on the other half of the field. He was able to take some velocity off the ball on those short and intermediate routes. He did show me a change up to his fastball, being able to maneuver that way. And he didn't use his legs the way you think he was going to take off because he
only ran it 3 times, Joe.
And
there were several running lanes that he could have taken, but he stayed in that pocket. He only ran that ball 3 times, Joe.
He ran that ball 3 times, and on the first run he ran, he got down. It was second down. He might could have bulled his way for a first down, but he got down and said, I'm going to protect myself. That's learning and getting better. So I don't disagree with what Chris Collinsworth said as far as Haynes King has to keep on getting better and work at, because that is true. But when you have an opportunity and you watch a game, this guy took, over 50 snaps, threw the ball 34 times. When you have the opportunity after you've said what he needs to work on and you see that, whoa, he must have done some really, really good work in this short time and OTAs and mandatory minicamp and the start of this fall camp. When you see this guy is improving, I thought he had an opportunity to say, hey, yeah, they say he needed to work on a few things, but sure, he has worked on them and he looks pretty good tonight. That's all I'm saying. That's my criticism of him when you mention it. And he mentioned it quite deep into the third and fourth quarter when this guy was still balling.
Right. Which I told you earlier today. How much homework can he do on a free agent rookie that wasn't drafted in Haynes King? All he was doing was regurgitating the game notes that they got a week and a half, 2 weeks ago about this team.
Yes.
Did he really cut on the film to watch Haynes King play games
last
year at Georgia Tech? I doubt it. Maybe he did, but if he did, he didn't do much. He's in this business. He's already preparing for not these preseason games. He's preparing for week 1 and week 2. He knows the games he's going to be calling. They're having meeting on the games that's going to be in week 1, week 2, week 3. So he's not spending a lot of time looking at the Carolina Panthers for the Hall of Fame game. So what we heard him doing was regurgitating game notes that they get, to be prepared for the game that they're going to call on that night. So again, you're right with your assessment, and he did kind of start off not being a negative Nancy, but really saying he's not sure what he's going to see.
And I'm cool with that, Stu. No, Stu. With that, everything that he said was spot on.
Okay,
was spot on. I mean, spot on. But he didn't do a pregame and then going to come back at halftime.
Right.
He called the game.
Right.
He called the football game that he was watching.
Right.
That's my whole. So even and I'm not saying it's his job and he failed, but even when you watching him dispel some of those things, he'd had an opportunity to say, boy, in that short period of time, and I'm not putting it on his shoulder to praise Haynes King and put him on a pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
But I do contrast and I do compare, and I was comparing Haynes King sort of how he looked compared to Carson Beck.
Right.
Carson Beck had flaws as well.
He did, but they both played extremely well.
But I didn't come out of the game, and I didn't hear much about what Carson Beck needed to work on.
Right. Okay.
I didn't hear Carson Beck was a turnover machine in some of the games Miami lost.
Good point.
I didn't hear Carson Beck rubbing some coaches a little bit the wrong way because he's a little uppity. I didn't hear some of those things, and it is true what he said about Haynes King. But when you see somebody playing away on the football field and trying to dispel some of those things that he needs to work on, I think he had an opportunity to say, "Whoa, I've seen a real improvement."
Shouts out to our guy Brian Hill. Check out his message, Joe, and share your thoughts. I don't remember Haynes King looking this good on his rollouts last year. I disagree. Share your thoughts, Joe Ham.
Not like that, because I think it was a different mindset for Haynes King. He was the offense. So when he did roll out, it was his first read, and he wasn't looking anywhere else. I'm going to go to my first read. If that's not there, I'm going to get this 5, 6, 7, 10 yards with my legs. I'm going to do a true one option, and then the second option is mine. In the NFL, you have to be a true point guard or those guys are going to be back in the huddle and be like, hey, man, give me time to run my route. Why are you running that ball and I'm just coming open now? So it's a different comfortability. And what we saw in Haynes King, I must be honest, I didn't see the pocket awareness the entire season last year. Right. But that's what he wasn't asked to let routes develop downfield. He wasn't asked to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reads.
You made a comment earlier, and I was beyond proud because for the last 2 seasons, I've seen Haynes King on the flats or on the road in the ACC taking shots from defenders, getting hit a lot, getting hit so hard sometimes they had to stand on the ground until teammates picked him up. But he was a fierce competitor, and he just dealt with it. But last night, there's been a maturation process that's taken place. He wasn't going to take no free shots from them big old dudes that was out there, and I was very happy to see that. It shows development. It shows a different mindset. It shows that he's going to have a better state of mind when it comes to protecting himself on that football field, and he can't take the shots that he took in college because one shot from these guys that he's playing with now could be his final shot. And he played like that on yesterday, and I was proud to see that.
Crafty veteran, man, on the 26-yard run on 3rd and 14 on that final drive. He looked around with his speed, 4.46 speed, looked around and it was able to get out of bounds, stop the clock with no timeouts left. That's heady. That's quarterback play. That's a veteran move. And I love the fact that he was just on a job interview, Ryan Stewart, for 31 other teams.
Right.
So who's to say if something happens to where the Carolina Panthers don't want to carry 3 quarterbacks, like some teams only carry 2, or they want to save a roster spot for a fullback or maybe an extra tight end, who knows, or extra defensive lineman. I don't know what Coach Canales, the head coach for the Panthers, are going to do, but he's only building his resume up. He's building his resume up. He squelled a lot of he can't do this or he can't do that. What we do know that he's played a lot of football. What we do know is he's the son of a high school football coach, that he's a state champion in high school. What we do know is he's ACC Player of the Year and MVP in the ACC, and he wins ball games. He's a winner. And the way his team galvanized around him and the way that playbook was all wide open, salute to you, Haynes King.
Yep.
Salute to you.
Salute.
A lot of eyes are going to be on him.
We're trying to move this thing forward for a few minutes before we get out of here. We got like another 10 minutes or so that we're going to go tonight. Before we get off of Haynes King, you just mentioned his future in 31 other teams looking at him last night and seeing him. And there's a handful of teams that put his name on their board last night. If we ever see him pop up on this wire, we're jumping all over him. He's signed an undrafted free agent contract. He's guaranteed monies from the Panthers this season of $250,000. That's it. That's it. Now, to the common man like you and I right now, that's far removed from the NFL, $250,000 is a lot of money.
Especially
to
guaranteed.
Football, it's guaranteed. That's money his. They can let him go right now. He's going to walk with $250. Okay? He's going to get more from somebody else, but he's going to walk with $250. That is huge for an unrestricted free agent to be given $250,000 guaranteed. That tells me that the Panthers know they have a steal. That tells me that the Panthers possibly wanted to use a draft pick to get him if they giving him $250,000.
Ooh, that's a lot. Great point. Great point.
So he secured that bag already, and I think after one appearance in his first game, he has secured the opportunity to get more bags. We're going to leave it there, and we're going to move on briefly to talk about some other things. It is the Two Live Stews pop-up. Your boy Joe Hamilton and One Live Stew Ryan Stewart. I got really giddy earlier today. It was actually this morning when I read about someone on the flats basically saying, if you're a good high school or college receiver and you want to become a better college receiver to have the opportunity to play in the National Football League, come to the flats at Georgia Tech. The person that made that comment is a 13-year NFL vet. Person played with the Houston Texans, Arizona Cardinals, Tennessee Titans, Kansas City Chiefs. Person was just with the Baltimore Ravens last season. The person that made that comment, which in essence was a recruiting tool for our Yellow Jackets, played in 195 NFL games, has over 1,000 receptions, has over 13,000 receiving yards, and over 80 touchdowns in the National Football League. The person that made that comment is a 3-time first-team All-Pro, 2-time second-team All-Pro. He's been to 5 Pro Bowls. He's an NFL receiving touchdown leader. He's had 7,000-yard plus seasons in the National Football League, and he had 4 seasons where he caught over 100 passes. Joe, the person that I'm talking about is DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins made a comment, as he is now an assistant wide receiver coach for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. I couldn't wait to get your thoughts on this. He made the comment, if you want to get the best opportunity to get a chance to play on Sundays, come to Georgia Tech. I'm here. I'm going to be here. I'm going to assist you and help you. We've got an offensive coordinator in George Godsey. We know him as the Goose, that is calling plays and drawing it up for Georgia Tech now. And I'm here to work with the receivers. What does that mean for the Yellow Jackets and Brent Key and Goose Godsey to have DeAndre Hopkins on the sideline working with the wide receivers and the Georgia Tech offense, Joe Hamilton?
Are you a visual person, or you can hear it and get it done? Do you have to actually see it, or you can hear it and get it done?
I'm much better learning visually than I am audibly.
All right, so this is, and you can learn audibly. We're not saying
I can learn audibly. Yeah,
I can as well, but we would rather visually. We were rather hands-on. So
there's a poem I used to know, and it started off, or it said throughout the course of the poem, I'd rather see a sermon than hear a sermon any day.
There you go.
So to the point I think you're about to make, I'd rather see it versus hear it.
So you're dealing with DeAndre Hopkins to where he can tell you in the meeting room, he can watch you run a route as a wide receiver, and then if you don't quite get it, he'll say, "Watch me,
watch me."
I mean, because remember now, he said, "I'm not retired yet."
Right.
Remember now, it was just last year, so he worked out this entire offseason. So he'll be able to run you full speed routes and get exactly to the landmark and do it exactly the way Goose Gotze wanted it done. Goose Gotze is bringing in, George Gotze is bringing in a pro-style offense. George Gotze is bringing in some concepts that he ran with DeAndre Hopkins back in, I think, 14 and 16 at the Houston Texans with DeAndre Hopkins. Mm-hmm. So he will be able to say, hey, DeAndre, show him how you did it in Houston. Show him what we're talking about, the adjustments in cover 2. Show him how we run this route in cover 3 when the DB is backpedaling. Yeah, we want you to run a stem curl rather than a straight curl back down the stem. We want to do that this way. DeAndre Hopkins said when I was reading up onto him as his why, he said he want to give back to the youth. He want to let them know that you can learn before you get to the NFL about the wide receiver 101, he said, Stu. He ain't trying to reinvent the wheel. He's not trying to say, this is how I do it. He's trying to strip those guys down. Not to say they weren't getting good coaching. Right. He's trying to go back to fundamentally one-on-one. This is how you get off a press man. This is how you do the homework. Oh, by the way, this is how you study film like a professional. This is how you get some details or a leg up on DPs as far as their tendencies. Are they looking straight at you? Are they looking at the quarterback? Are they turned inside? Are they backpedaling? Are they have? And what about individually studying? Individually studying as far as, oh, he has bad hips, or he can't get out of his back pedal enough. This guy's seen. You mentioned the number of games. How much film work has he watched? How much video? So this is a plus, and there's a plus to the wide receivers that want to be a prospective student athlete at the institute. I'm going to be coached by a professional. I'm able to touch him tangibly, and the DBs as well. Hey, Nuke. Hey, I think I can guard you. You want to run a route on me? So it's going to bring back the whole fun and excitement. It's nothing but pluses all across the board. And I want to take a shot at Dabo Swinney here too. Clemson is his album.
Whoa! Wait a minute! You want to take a shot at who? Wait a minute.
But here's why, and I'm guessing here. Here's why. Don't you think he reached out to Dabo Swinney to come back to be a wide receiver coach or help out somewhere with his alma mater, Clemson Tigers?
Possibly.
And maybe Dabo said, "Hey, not here. I don't have room." Maybe. Just food for thought.
Okay. You know how I feel about Dabo. And,
yeah, I do.
Yeah, and I do think that if DeAndre Hopkins calls him, that Dabo's gonna be like, "Nah, we good."
Oh man,
shame on him. But I don't know that to be fact. But you bringing it up is just kind of intriguing to me. However, you mentioned Dabo Swinney, or if DeAndre Hopkins may have called him. Tell me how we get a guy like DeAndre Hopkins to come to our sideline to be an assistant wide receiver coach.
George Gotze fed him the ball. The offensive coordinator now, quarterback that was my backup that had a fabulous 2-year stint with the Yellow Jackets, and he's going to do a fabulous job. He fed that guy the ball. And George Gotze have told me plenty of times about DeAndre Hopkins that's a guy that would come in my office and try to find ways, and that's coach. Drop some plays to get me open. And when I'm not covered, it's your job to get me open. So that relationship, that trust, and for Goose Gotze to you know how late this is in the game?
I know.
These guys are getting ready to go to camp. To bring somebody on, make room for him.
Right.
George Gotze went to the head coach, which is his friend Brent Key, and said, "Hey, we can use this guy. This guy will not only help us offensively, this guy will do immense teaching skills with the wide receivers."
What does he mean to the Yellow Jackets, Brent Key and Goose Gotze, when it comes to a recruiting tool for players? What does he mean to the Yellow Jackets when it comes to that?
Well, he's not going to probably go on the road, but
he ain't got to go on the road.
No. We have a professional in the building.
Right.
We have guys that have relationships. What about the guys that's a senior now that's not wide receivers? Anybody can pick DeAndre Hopkins' brain because he eventually want to be a head coach. I don't think he's just limited to the wide receiver talk. He's limited to the football talk.
He's a future Hall of Famer, Joe. He's a 5-time All-Pro. He's a future Hall of Famer, Joe.
That's right. You can imagine. Can you imagine what he can say or what details he can give?
He can make a difference on a player that's leaning this way or leaning that way, not just to a receiver. He can make a difference. He can say something to a player that's leaning this way or that way that will favor Georgia Tech. He's a huge piece to have on your staff.
Let me tell you when I was around Patrick Mahomes what he did. Let me tell you when I was around these other players what they did. Let me tell you about experiences on and off the field. Yes, he's a weapon right now for the Institute. Weapon.
Yeah. Hey, man, thank you.
Outstanding, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You got me fired up, man.
Thank you. We could have gone all night, man, but I got to get ready for travel soccer in the morning. We got a game. We got a few games incoming tomorrow, so we got to get up and leave at like 4:30 in the morning. I would have probably left tonight. I love it. I would have probably left tonight, but I didn't want to haul all this equipment with us to get where we got to go and then do the show. I said we'll stay and so I can do the show and then we'll get up early in the morning and travel. I save a night of hotel fees by doing this. But I know it would be good.
Are you the soccer dad?
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What I'm talking about is what do you mean haul all the equipment? So you taking all the balls? You have to have all the uniforms?
Oh, no. I meant I thought about going to Atlanta and staying in Atlanta and doing this pop-up with you in Atlanta. But I didn't want to pack up this equipment. Right.
Okay. I thought you were talking about the balls and I think the soccer equipment. Okay.
Everybody that's in the chat, man, we didn't read any messages. We showed a couple of them, but I appreciate y'all. Shedrick Moore, thank you, man. Brown, thank you. Brian Hill, thank you. Buster, thank you. Till Dog, Black Diamond, appreciate you. Geechee Moko. As a matter of fact, I'm glad Geechee Moko decided to speak. Today's pop-up was brought to you by the good folks from Black Eden. That's it right there. Black Eden 1912 bourbon, premium bourbon, inspired by the historic legacy of Idlewild, Michigan, known as Black Eden. We don't care if you're just watching some football. We don't care if you're celebrating a graduation. We don't care what the reason is. Toast a glass to the good folks from Black Eden 1912 because it's the taste of history. As a listener of the Two Live Stews, you get to enjoy $20 off of your online purchase by visiting blackeden1912.com/2livestews and using the promo code 2livestews at checkout. Again, that's blackeden1912.com/2livestews, promo code 2livestews to claim your exclusive offer and experience a taste of history. As I mentioned before, we're not going to get out of here before talking about Skylar. You've lost your oldest son to West Point, New York, where he's a quarterback now with Army. He just got through with the boot camp phase of things. Straight cadet now, but now they're into the football phase of things. Give us an update on Skylar before I let you go, man.
Yeah, straight cadet. That sounds good to me. Basic training last 3 weeks. He was without his phone. He sounded good. He said the first 2 days were the toughest of his life ever, but he said it got easier. And just his sound. He's gained 10 pounds in 3 weeks. The sound. He's studying now more football. That now the basic training is over. And he's excited about ball, man. He's excited about ball. He's excited about the discipline. And one thing I want to tell in the story, I think I shared with you what I love seeing what he said is that there's no more hustle to finish first. All right, when we ran gases and suicide in basketball and gases, half gases or what have you in football, and you the first guy that finished, that was something. Yeah. Or you running your test when you come back off the off season and your 12-minute run or what have you, and you finish first, that's something. But in basic training, where he's at now, he said it does you no good to finish first. Why? Because you're in a team now of 8. You finished first.
You only as good as the guys back there.
You got to go back and get that guy because it's just one time. It's not individual. It's not 8 different times. It's a group time. So that just shows that, hey, man, teamwork makes the dream work. And I'm proud of him, man. I love to hear his voice. And he's an inspiration, man. He's an inspiration, man. And coaches ask about him, see how he's doing. His sister misses him dearly, but he's well missed. Just his presence, but he'll be all right.
I'm real proud of him, man. I'm real proud of him, man. I'm real happy for him. Thank you for being here, man. A+ to you, A+ to everybody in the chat. We appreciate y'all. We'll be back on Monday talking a whole lot of football. Are there preseason games this weekend, Joe, or do they start next weekend?
Next weekend.
Okay. So we'll be back on Monday. There'll be a lot of sports to talk about. I wanted to talk about Bijan Robinson. I wanted to talk about Jahmyr Gibbs. I wanted to talk about Jonathan Taylor's deals.
Bring up to Doug on Monday. How you feel about that guy who was able to go into 3 or 4 different training camps in the NFL, and now he can go back to Texas. I want to see how you feel about that. You heard about that, right?
Tell me the story real quick, briefly.
The guard from Texas, he went into the NFL draft.
Yes.
Now he's back at Texas after being trying out with the NFL. So because of the 5th-year rule,
I'm happy for him. It's unheard of because back in the day, the minute you declared your college days was done,
it's another loophole, but it is what it is.
There's a lot of loopholes, man. Outstanding job, Joe. We appreciate y'all for pulling up, man. I'm your boy, One Live Stew. Don't forget, you can always check us out at 2livestews.com, where our YouTube page is linked to that. We're working on the website right now to have it built out to do a whole lot more. It won't just be a YouTube website moving forward. It'll be a platform that all of our instruments and tools will be there for you, sponsors, events, other podcasts, other shows. We're going to start building the network through 2livestews.com. So we're very excited about what's going on. We're very excited about all the forward movement. We're very excited about our partnerships. GetGN.shop, Black Eden 1912. A lot of good stuff going on with the 2 Live Stews and 2livestews.com. So outstanding job, Joe. We appreciate y'all. We'll see you on Monday. We'll see you on Monday. Peace and blessings, y'all. Peace and blessings. Let me get out of here and do this now. I got to get back familiar with the platform here, Joe.
Hey, man, that's good stuff, man. Safe travels in the morning, my brother.
Oh, I appreciate you, King. I appreciate you, man. Give me 1 second here. Let me get this straight. All right, let me see. There we go.